Hello and welcome. If you're a parent, I'm willing to bet you've asked yourself this question probably 1,000 times. Is my child on track? It's that quiet little question that pops into our heads as we watch our kids grow. So today, let's really unpack what that even means.
And a lot of the time, that big, broad question really boils down to this one, doesn't it? It's the one that brings up all the feelings. Total excitement, but also, let's be real, a good bit of anxiety. Is my child ready for kindergarten? We all want our kids to stroll into that classroom feeling ready and confident. But ready for what exactly?
I love this quote from Susie Allison because it just nails it. We've sort of been taught to think that getting ready for school is this big academic race. But what if the finish line we're all sprinting towards is actually in the wrong place?
And that's where we're going to start. We're going to pull back the curtain on the whole flashcard and worksheet frenzy. Let's find out what teachers and child development experts say are the real foundational skills that set a kid up for a happy, successful start to school. Okay, so check this out. This lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the stuff we tend to stress about, right? The memorization stuff. But look at the right side. That's the good stuff. Can your kids stick with a puzzle that's kind of tricky? That's persistence. Can they figure out how to share a truck without a total meltdown? That's problem solving. These are the skills that actually build a great learner. And this just drives that point home. People actually asked kindergarten teachers, hey, what do you really want kids to walk in with? And this is what they said. It's not about acing an alphabet test on day one. It's about being able to manage your own coat and backpack, asking for help when you're stuck, and maybe the biggest one of all, knowing how to fail, shake it off, and try again. That's huge. So if we're not just counting how many letters they know, how do we get a sense of where they are in their development? Well, that brings us to milestones. And I want you to think of these less like a rigid checklist and more like, well, friendly little signposts on their own unique road. All right, first things first, let's be super clear about what a milestone is and what it isn't. It's basically a skill that most kids can do around a certain age. It's an average, not a deadline. And I'm going to say this a few times because it's that important. Every single child has their own timeline. This is a guide, not a report card. And what's so cool is how it all connects, right? You can see how these skills just build on each other. That first little smile, that's the very beginning of a conversation. That clumsy roll from their tummy to their back, that's step one on the road to running across the playground. Each piece lays the foundation for the next. Let's zoom in on one. Peekaboo. Seems like just a silly game, right? Nope. For an 8-month-old, this is a massive brain workout. They're figuring out that even when they can't see you, you're still there. And they're learning that connecting with you is like the most fun thing ever. And now let's bring it back to those big, important social skills we were talking about. Picture this. You're at the park, a kiddo takes a tumble, and your 2-year-old toddles over and pats them on the back. That's the beginning of empathy. And you just can't drill that with a worksheet, you know? It's a skill that will serve them their whole life. Okay, but what if you're watching all this and you've got that little nudge, that parent gut feeling that just says, something feels a little off? Let's talk about that. And I want to be really clear here. This next part is all about feeling empowered, not panicked. Yeah, the term red flag sounds super alarming. I get it. But let's reframe it. A red flag is not a diagnosis. It's not a label. Think of it more like a check engine light in your car. It's just a signal to say, hey, let's look into this a little more. Let's ask some questions. And this right here, this is probably one of the most important takeaways. The whole, let's just wait and see idea, it's officially over. We know without a doubt that getting support for a child early on makes a world of difference. So if you have a concern, acting on it isn't being dramatic. It's being an amazing, proactive advocate for your kid. So what do? It's actually a really simple 3-step process. Number 1, trust your gut. You are the expert on your child, period. Number 2, talk to your pediatrician and try to be specific with what you're seeing. And number 3, you can always ask for a formal screening just to get a clearer picture. Okay, let's shift gears to my favorite part, the parent toolkit. This is all about the simple, powerful, and genuinely fun things you can do every single day to support your little one's incredible growth. First things first, take a deep breath and let yourself off the hook. You do not need a house full of expensive educational toys. You are the magic ingredient. The most profound learning happens in those simple, everyday moments when you talk, read, sing, and just play together. That's it. That's the secret sauce. So when we talk about your toolkit, you can think of it in three parts. First, you've got just casually keeping an eye on milestones and really celebrating all the new things they're learning to do. Second, there's the more formal screening, which is there as a tool if you ever need it. And third, the biggest and best tool in the whole box, play. And for that first part, tracking milestones, there's a fantastic free resource I have to tell you about. It's the CDC's Milestone Tracker app. It is so user-friendly, it has little videos and pictures, so you can actually see what they're talking about. Plus, it's packed with tons of ideas for activities you can do at every single stage. And speaking of activities, this is where the real magic happens. These aren't chores. They are powerful skill builders disguised as fun. Squishing Play-Doh isn't just making a mess, it's building the little hand muscles they need to hold a pencil. Doing a silly crab walk across the living room, that's a total core workout, which actually helps them sit still and focus later on. And cuddling up with a book, that's just the whole package, isn't it? So, here's the thought I want to leave you with. How can you turn today's playtime into tomorrow's life skills? The next time you're on the floor building with blocks, remember, that's not just a tower, it's a lesson in persistence. That little negotiation over who gets the blue crayon, that's a masterclass in social skills. You're not just playing, you're building a happy, confident, and capable human being.